I'm actually going to move over here.
Okay, yeah, and feel free to, if you want, you can drive. I can hand it to you at, at some time.
Okay, that's right. I got so many cords dangling out.
All right, here we go. Good afternoon, everybody. Fox 17 Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan alongside meteorologist Brett Luna. Doing something a little different right now. We're live on multiple platforms, streaming from Facebook, YouTube. I think our digital team is also getting us set up on Instagram as well. So we're here just giving you updates on this severe thunderstorm warning that's moving through Davidson County and parts of Williamson County right now. This is a beast of a storm. And Brett's with me here too, just to add in some commentary on what we're seeing here. Brett, I'm looking at this storm. First, some facts here. Severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be impacting most of Nashville, south of downtown, closer to Williamson County, and then north of Franklin in Williamson County. And this is a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:15. But this is mainly for hail, I would say, along with maybe some straight line winds up to 60 miles per hour, but really impressive hail core that I'm seeing there right now, Brett.
Yeah, Katie, and I was looking over here at this too, and it was talking about how ping pong ball sized hail is going to be possible with this storm. That's going to be, I'm going to zoom out on your map just a little bit so I can get my bearings straight. Okay, so that's going to be moving into parts of Davidson and Williamson County.
Yeah, so this one here, for folks that are in and around Bellevue, I'm going to zoom in real close. What you're seeing here on the map is that darker magenta and black. That is a hail core that we've got. So folks near Poplar Creek Road, this is actually near my old stomping ground where I used to live, off of Temple Road, the Stonemead subdivision. This is going to be near Percy Warner Park, and basically the Highway 100 corridor in Bellevue. This is a pretty intense storm as far as hail goes. So if you've got things outside that you don't want damaged and you're downstream from this, or upstream, I guess, Brentwood, for example, even I would say heads up in Franklin, but I think the bulk of this storm is going to miss Franklin. We'll still get some pretty heavy rain, and you can see that the severe thunderstorm warning is right on the edge of Franklin there. So we're looking at a pretty strong storm here with hail moving through the Bellevue area right now. And along with that, maybe some winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Brett, I was scrolling through the chat earlier, and I saw actually a few reports out of Dixon County of a tree on a house.
About the tree? Yeah.
So this storm is pretty intense and doing damage. And it's going to be moving through, unfortunately, the worst time right now, Friday rush hour. It's 4:30, and we've got a lot of rain pushing in. Now, I know, too, a lot of folks are concerned about football tonight. Unfortunately, it's going to be a sloppy evening. I think this actually should be the bulk of thunderstorms for Nashville for today. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, this right here, I would say probably between about 4 to 7 p.m. We could see a little bit more move in, but I would say maybe actually it may be moving in a little bit faster than when I was watching it earlier. So 4 to 6 p.m. or so, we'll say 4 to 6:30.
Yeah. And these are moving pretty fast too, maybe 50, 55 miles per hour. And they have a ton of lightning. I took lightning off just because it's hard to see what's going on, but it's an electric storm. So I meant to say earlier, we do have our chat up here on the side, and I want to see what everyone's commenting on. If you're near an area seeing some intense stuff, wind, hail, just let us know. But I am tracking here. Let's see, folks just tuning in saying hi. High school games moved to last night. Yeah, Justin Briley saying that most of the games were moved to last night. That is true. We did have a lot of high school football last night, but we do have some football tonight. I was talking with our sports director, Jill Jelnick, and I was actually earlier on 102.5 The Game talking about weather for tonight. with Chase McCabe and Big Joe, and we were discussing the weather and why this was going to be an issue for Friday Night Football, unfortunately. So we are still watching this. The only severe thunderstorm warning right now that's in effect, it's for Cheatham County, but this one should expire soon. The new one that's been issued is for Williamson and for Davidson County, and it's still pretty intense as far as rain goes and the potential for hail. So the biggest part of the storm, or the real intense part, is going to be in Bellevue right now, right around Temple Hills subdivision and Temple Road, over towards Smead Road, and getting over towards even Percy Warner Park. So this is really the area that's got the most intense wind, the most intense rain, and probably some hail with this as well. Looks like we're getting a report of pea-size hail off of Old Hickory Boulevard at Highway 100. So right there at the park. So that's where we're looking here, pretty close in with the radar. But Brett, I think we're still looking at, we do have a tornado watch that's in effect, actually. Let me show that real fast.
I was going to say, if you wanted to pull that map up, this is going to be for a little bit longer.
Yeah, this is in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. It does include a lot of Middle Tennessee, but I'm hopeful that once this batch and cluster of storms moves through at least Nashville, that we'll be done essentially with our big severe threat for the day. You can see that they didn't even include Montgomery County and Stewart counties. So we're already done with the threat there. But everyone in yellow is still under the gun for at least the potential of some strong storms that could include a tornado. That tornado threat's going to be on the low end, but there's enough ingredients in the atmosphere that Storm Prediction Center and Weather Service decided a tornado watch would be best. So I am looking at some of the comments here. I'm getting one question. Let's see, Anna from Sparta, Tennessee, asking about what to expect in Sparta. And I'd say it's still a couple hours to go as we head east to 65. I would expect this cluster here to expand a little bit more in coverage. So you can see that this line is starting to develop a little bit more here. We're starting to get more of a structure. We've got this leading cell right over Nashville and Williamson County. And then we have a line behind that. So that I think is going to start to congeal a little more over the next hour or two. So still a threat out towards Sparta, probably for another several hours, probably until 8, maybe 9 o'clock. The tornado watch, you are included in that. That goes until 10. I'm hopeful, though, that most of these storms will be out of here before 10 o'clock because they're moving pretty quickly. But that's what we're expecting for really anyone in Middle Tennessee. Andrea asking about Davidson County. The storm's moving through right now. I think this should be our main event. Brett, wouldn't you assume here?
Oh, I think this is the big one for sure.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll keep this thing under wraps as far as any tornado potential goes. But we are looking at some weak rotation within the storm here. But as of right now, I think the good news is storms look like they're behaving for the most part as far as anything rotating wise is concerned.
Katie, I'm seeing a question over here too about Clarksville, and I saw another comment saying that Clarksville is finally in the clear. It seems like every time we're talking about a severe weather event, Clarksville is always just getting hit pretty hard. But this comment right here, she was asking about Clarksville, and Clarksville is not included in that tornado watch. So you had some showers and storms earlier. So no severe weather threat for you as we go through the next several hours. It's already past you.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I know a lot of folks starting to ask about their town, their community here. This one cell that we are tracking that is severe, everything else is non-severe around it. So the most immediate concern beyond Davidson County is going to be the eastern portions of Williamson County, getting into northern Rutherford County and into Wilson County. So if you live near Antioch, Smyrna, Lebanon, even Murfreesboro, I'd give you a heads up. It may track just north of you. That's going to be the most intense cell that we have at the moment. And that is going to be headed your way to Laverne even in the next 15 minutes. So it's approaching the airport at this time, Mount Juliet in the next 5 to 10 minutes. That's what we're looking at as far as the most intense, most urgent storm at the moment. Everything else around it through Springfield, Dixon, had a pretty intense storm. This storm moved through, but now it is over and done with. our cameras have been on the fritz here, and I need to get them back up and running. But Springfield not looking too bad. Dixon, Centerville, these are all non-severe out your way. So we are looking at still, I would say, the one big storm here over Davidson County and Brentwood. And Brett, I'd say too, over the last couple of scans, it really isn't looking as intense as far as the hail core goes.
Yeah. Because a lot of times when we're looking at this, you can see like that black that you see on your screen right there around Bethany Hills between Bellevue and Brentwood, indicating some larger hail sometimes. Not seeing as big of an area as that. So hopefully that hail's come down. I saw them talking a little bit about that in the National Weather Service chat. And also I see a comment here about Mount Juliet. It's going to be heading your way. So just that severe thunderstorm warning, I don't believe includes Mount Juliet. I think they're just outside of that. But you can still be getting some heavy rain and some kind of strong wind gusts. And a good bit of lightning too with that. Yeah.
I'm playing a little bit here. This is one of our tools that we have on our radar that gives us the capability to see how tall these thunderstorms are. So let's see if I can freeze the box. So this is the storm that we're tracking through Davidson County, and I'll put it back north-south cardinal direction here, north, south, east, west. But then I'm going to move the box a little bit more inside. So we take a look inside this storm, and I'm going to move the cursor here to the side. So we're looking off to the west. But what we can do is then look at it and see how tall these cloud tops are within the storm. So these storms, at one point I saw it as high as about 50,000 feet, which is pretty tall, which then is no surprise that we've got hail within the storm here. Yeah, but a pretty impressive storm just as far as the strength and then the height of it here. I'd probably measure it at maybe 45,000 feet now. But definitely is still holding the line here. Have you been checking chat? I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I've been watching chat over here. I got it pulled up too. Not seeing anything. I saw let's see, there was that nickel-sized hail. It started out pea-sized hail, the one that you were talking about, Old Hickory Boulevard and Highway 100. And now it's up to nickel size. So I'm still watching that. It's also seeing a quarter-sized hail report, but that's been everything that I've been seeing. That was from looks like around Pegram area, which would make sense.
I have a question here asking if there's a tornado in Greenwood. There are no active tornado warnings. In fact, we in Middle Tennessee, I'll show you our map for today. We're the only area in the country for any sort of severe weather, and it really is just circled right over Middle Tennessee and into southern Kentucky. So kind of interesting to see the setup for today. And it's a fairly narrow outlook as well. Not a ton of real estate. So there has just been a little core of ingredients that are capable of severe storms. And it just happens to be over Middle Tennessee for today. And the tornado watch goes until 10. I'm going to run you through our future track for more timing. If you're watching and wondering about high school football for tonight or any other plans that you may have, this takes us through about 5, 6 o'clock. As we get closer to 6, 7 o'clock, most of those storms are pushing east of I-65. So for those that have football tonight in Clarksville, Dixon, Camden, even, I'd keep it at that for now. By 7 o'clock, I don't think you're going to have any issues with football. We'll probably have maybe a few lingering showers. But overall, the bigger chance for strong thunderstorms and impact to football games tonight should be east of 65 by game time. Here's 8 o'clock. So I think by 8 o'clock, Nashville should probably be okay. We'll still have a few shower chances around, but as far as the big severe threat, that should be coming to an end. And Murfreesboro should be exiting about 8 o'clock as well. Cookeville may be dealing with some stronger storm chances at 8, 9 o'clock. And then notice by 10, I think we're pretty much done. And that's when the tornado watch is set to expire at 10. So I think hopefully we'll be able to get football in tonight. We may run into some delays depending on where you are. And of course, if we do have lightning with any storm, which a lot of these do have, that is going to cause a delay automatically for football out there.
Okay, they just went ahead and continued that severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Davidson and Williamson County. They're still keeping it at ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts possible.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to be this one here. That goes until 5:15. So we still have another good 45 minutes on it, just about 40 minutes. I'm going to take lightning off. Just look at the strike count. 200, almost 300 strikes of lightning just in view here. But the hail core, as Brett was talking about there, ping pong ball size hail. That's always hard to say. Ping pong ball size.
I was messing it up already.
Yeah. Quarter size hail. We've seen reports of pea size hail. The more intense part of this storm is definitely over Brentwood right now. And that's going to be where those magentas and those pinks are. Getting questions about if this is going to track right over Smyrna. Shell asking that. I would say that the hail portion of this storm will likely be close to Smyrna. Technically not in the severe thunderstorm warning, but if the storm continues its strength, you will see a severe thunderstorm warning coming soon, I think, for Smyrna. Also, Jessica asking about White House. This is to the south of White House. So showers and a few rumbles of thunder, I think, will be possible up toward White House here. You can see even up toward Portland as well. There's some showers moving through and lightning. Yeah, some strikes of lightning, but nothing severe up that way. So the lone severe storm that we've been tracking and watching here continues to be through Davidson and into northern Williamson County. Nina's saying it's really dark outside, going towards Charlotte Pike. And that, again, is going to be that storm that we're seeing here. I don't know if any of my cameras from downtown, let me check, are up and running. That's live? Oh, I guess, yeah, I forgot about, no, wait, really? That can't be live.
It's mighty dark.
It does look mighty dark. I mean, there are lights flashing. You see them off in the distance? It's after 4:30.
About 5 minutes before sunset.
Yeah, it's not much later than that. But boy, if that is in fact the case, there's Broadway, so that must be live. That is pretty intense. So that's Broadway. Here's our Metro Center camera. This should be looking more toward the storm. We're on the north end of town. And then our City View camera here. So I do see lights blinking off in the distance. But
yeah, very dark.
Yeah, dark for sure. So still following the storm here. Again, these storms, most of them will be hail and wind and heavy rain. They're moving through fairly quickly. And again, the tornado threat's not zero. That's why we do have a tornado watch that's in effect here. But right now, I'm not seeing anything too concerning on radar. I had someone asking about rotation earlier. But I'm not seeing anything too concerning at the moment. As far as, let me check out another radar here. As far as rotation goes, that would lead me to believe we're in danger of a tornado at the moment. But we're still following some pretty intense winds. Pretty good wind signature, though, just north of Franklin. So some pretty gusty winds right around Franklin and Brentwood, in between there, Highway 31. And I'd say gusts up to 60 miles per hour could be possible between Brentwood and Franklin, right on 65 too. And again, pretty high volume time for traffic.
Mm-hmm. And look, that hail core, that you've been talking about that hail a lot, right over Interstate 65 in between Brentwood and Franklin. So that's a major travel area this time of day.
Yeah. And
also, don't stop under any overpasses. If you may be driving, don't stop under any overpasses and clog those up. Then things just get more dangerous. Never a good idea to do that for tornadoes, hail, none of that.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to say that.
I just thought about it.
No, me too. I think we have like minds.
That's right.
That's funny. But yeah, it is true. I remember seeing a couple, it's been months, maybe spring season. It was out in Oklahoma, and they had
I saw one in Texas, and it was terrible.
Yeah, they were parked under the overpass, and we all, there was an event, I think in West Virginia, where this happened. And people were parking under the overpass because of hail. and it just clobbered the interstate. I mean, it was a standstill. And then I think there was a tornado threat as well attached to that storm several months back. So yeah, never want to park under the overpass when it comes to tornadoes or hail or really anything. Tornado is not a great place to stay either for shelter. So we're still watching this storm here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate everybody watching. And let's see, we've got someone else, Corey, asking about bad weather in East Nashville or tornadoes. East Nashville just getting some pretty heavy rain at the moment. I do think, we'll still see thunderstorms, so pretty noisy storm moving through. And just to the west, we've got more showers and storms, but these are all behaving right now. So they're not severe, but we are looking at a pretty decent amount of activity that is still pushing through. So we've got another, in Nashville, I'd say we have at least another hour, maybe hour and a half before this all clears out of here. So maybe about 7 just before kickoff for Friday Night Football. Christy, this is a good comment here. Came through Dixon, it poured, the wind was crazy. We have several tree limbs down in Dixon County. Y'all be safe. Thank you, Christy, for the report. That's real important to know the history of what's been going on with this one storm. And that was due to the big guy right here that's moving through Davidson and Williamson County. But reports of a lot of trees down, high winds. And we were talking, Brett, with one of our producers as she was coming into work. We had kind of a precursor or an appetizer, if you will. Severe storm come through the area, and she said the rain was blinding, where everyone on the interstate had their flashers on.
Yeah, she was coming in from the north down into Nashville, so she was getting hit with some of those earlier storms that we were seeing.
Yeah. So again, you want to be safe. If you can wait before going somewhere, if you're headed out, I would, and you're kind of in the thick of it right now, I would wait and let this pass. I didn't see the exact, I'm estimating, I'm going to say about 50 miles per hour. I didn't see, Brett, how long they're actually,
say that one more time. I got distracted on this video of the part of the storm that I was seeing.
I am looking to, I just got word from the newsroom that BNA has a ground stop in effect for weather. So if you're planning on traveling this evening, just heads up, you may want to check your airline and your in-flight information, because BNA is on a ground stop right now. Now, the bulk of the heavy part of the storm, or the more intense part of the storm, is just south of the airport, but there's still some pretty intense rain going on through downtown. We'll go back to our city view camera, and yeah, that's there's a lot going on there. And there's Metro Center. There's our Broadway camera.
Broadway's soaking wet.
Yeah, it is. So a lot of rain still coming through downtown. I'll check the power outage map too. We're starting to see an increased number of power outages. This is giving us a percentage by the percentage by county. So 10% in Dixon County, Humphreys County, Hickman County, and Cheatham County less than 10%. So that's good. But we're starting to see a little bit of an increase of those power outages due to the trees. We got a few reports that we had just moments ago. So again, keep that in mind. If you're just tuning in, again, we do have a tornado watch that's been issued until 10. It's a low end watch for tornadoes. These are mostly going to be wind and hail events, which is what we've been tracking with this cell through Davidson County and Nashville. But there is still a small chance of a tornado. So Storm Prediction Center and the National Weather Service decided to go ahead with that, with a tornado watch that'll be in effect until 10. I'm hopeful, though, that we'll be able to see a lot of these counties clear earlier than 10 o'clock. But that one cell here that just kind of slowly tracking over Brentwood, Franklin, Nashville. The worst of it is through Nashville, East Nashville. The more intense part of this storm is going to be along the leading edge. Antioch, headed towards Nolensville, Smyrna, Laverne, and over towards Rockdale. This may miss Murfreesboro.
Might go just north of it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Katie, I'm just over here looking at radar on my phone too, and right in between, or just a little bit north of Hendersonville. So this is going to be for parts of Robertson County, Sumner County. No severe warning, but they did indicate that that's a strong portion of that storm, or you could see 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts right up here. Yeah, right up there.
Near Greenbrier.
So nothing too major, but just with that line, yeah, that area right there near Greenbrier that you're looking at up around to the Portland area, just some kind of stronger winds possible with that, and they were saying possibly up to 50 miles an hour. So looks like the velocities on there may not be showing as strong, but
yeah, you can see it a little bit here, showing up just by the different shadings of green. Yeah. So 45, 50 mile per hour winds possible. So that, again, enough to do some damage, but not in the textbook, not considered severe yet. Hopefully it'll stay sub-severe. So they do continue to trim back this warning that goes until 5:15 for Williamson and Davidson County. And the hail core that looked quite intense just maybe 30 minutes ago does not look that impressive anymore. So that's good. So we'll walk this back a little bit and see all the black that we had there. There's probably where we had our strongest signature, just south at Kingston Springs and I-40 there at the Cheatham and Davidson County line, around the Bellevue area. That's really, I think, where we had the biggest hail core pop up. So it will be interesting to see if we get any more reports of hail coming in.
And Misty, no tornadoes on the ground. I'm seeing that comment right there. We're just on here for the severe thunderstorm warning that was moving through Davidson County. We had some strong winds and some large hail with it. No tornado warnings there right now.
Yes, no tornado warnings at the moment here. That again, there is a watch, and remember, there's the difference between the watch and the warning. The watch is where conditions are favorable for what it is that you are on watch for. So in this case, conditions are favorable for tornado development. A warning would be that's the time to take action and seek shelter because there's one that's imminent. Andrea reporting that she's seeing strong rain and wind at the moment. So thank you, Andrea, for commenting. And again, seeing some pretty intense wind and rain across a lot of real estate here in Davidson and Williamson County. But Antioch definitely in the thick of it right now. And that headed towards Laverne. They don't have a severe thunderstorm warning extension yet, which is kind of piquing my interest. I wonder if they're going to push it through. But the towns will definitely, at least Laverne, Smyrna, yeah, they'll at least see some heavy rain and wind out of this. Looks like we got some video into the newsroom. Did you see that?
I missed that email.
Oh, I guess they haven't. They're reaching out for permission. But yeah, that looks like quarter size, maybe.
That said it was around the Springfield area. I looked at that very quickly. Or maybe I'm just making that up. Okay.
B&A still on a ground stop, as far as I know, and that's due to weather. So hopefully they will lift that shortly or soon, because it does look like, at least for the airport area, there's a lot of heavy rain still up toward Donaldson, and just to the east of Nashville. But as far as the more intense part of the storm is just south. But those, of course, for aircraft that are climbing, having to avoid that monster of a storm that is just to the south of the airport, may also play a role in their decision to keep planes on the ground for the moment. So we're still watching here for, of course, any signs of rotation, but I'm not seeing any at the moment. So that is good. Good to see. Hopefully we can just get by with these storms here.
Okay, you were talking about that severe thunderstorm warning in Davidson County. It's weakening, but they are going to go ahead and extend that downstream here in just a minute.
Okay.
I'd take it a little bit further to the east. Areas like Smyrna probably be included.
Yeah. Hopefully that's a sign of our trends that we're seeing here, that, maybe we won't get too much more of these warnings. I'm hoping.
That would be great. And there is some heavy rainfall that's over on the west side of Davidson County right now. Nothing strong or severe with that, but we had that one heavy batch move through, and now still seeing a little bit, but now you may get some more heavy rain here in just a minute if you're in Nashville.
Yeah. Here's a comment from Misty saying Smyrna getting pretty dark and the wind's getting stronger, a little more fast. Yeah, so Smyrna is right on the edge of that, leading edge of that storm that's going to be pushing in shortly here. And in fact, I'll put a track on this just for fun. But this is still the only warning. It's interesting too because this one's out by itself, so it's supercell. And it's tracking alone. And so a lot of times these storms that get out by themselves, they can sustain their energy. But when you have these other storms behind it that are kind of congealing into a line, they're sharing their energy, if you will. So it takes more overall energy for those storms to remain severe, as opposed to these guys that are out by themselves. They can usually hang on a little bit longer, until they end up getting gobbled up by that line. But what was I going to do? I was going to put a track on this. So we're going to see a new severe thunderstorm warning come out shortly for Rutherford County, parts probably of Wilson County. But this puts it near Smyrna at about 5 minutes, major in the next 14 minutes from now. And again, for those that are commenting about other places, anyone that's outside of northern Rutherford County, southeastern Davidson counties, eastern Williamson County, that's the main cell that we're tracking right now that has any problems associated with it. There's still heavy rain behind that. So for folks in, let's say, Bellevue that had hail come through just 30, 45 minutes ago, we're getting more heavy rain, but that's not severe. And I don't expect that to be severe. Brett had also mentioned this cell up here near Greenbrier is strong, but not severe limits at the moment. But packing some winds, maybe some small hail, and maybe some gusts up to 50 miles per hour within that line. This one will be moving into White House. I know we had someone asking about White House earlier. So we are looking at some heavy areas of rain, but that one storm that we're still watching that is going to get an extension of the warning here, moving through Davidson and Williamson County. We'll be pushing more into Rutherford and Wilson County shortly. Nicholas asking if we've had any hail spotted anywhere. Yeah, we've gotten a couple reports. So what did we say, Brett? Ping pong ball, quarter?
Yeah, that was some of the biggest reports I was seeing. Nickel, quarter, ping pong ball. That's about 1.5 inches, the ping pong ball.
Yeah. So
I'm also seeing
go for it.
Just to answer Borg's question, in Murfreesboro, should I expect anything big? This one cell that Katie zoomed in on right here on her radar computer may be pushing into northern Rutherford County. You may just miss that, but there is more that could be coming in behind that too. It may kind of, if it keeps on the same track that it's on, it might be, you may get it in Murfreesboro, so I'd say it, but yeah, it's no tornado warnings with any of that though. This is just a severe thunderstorm warning as it stands right now with that storm.
Yeah. Let's see. Someone else asking about Sparta. Again, I'd say you've got another hour and a half before we start to see storms enter closer to the Cumberland Plateau and the Upper Cumberland area. But we'll have the Sparta is under the tornado watch until 10. But I do think that we're going to be looking at some storms more in our eastern half of the viewing area in another few hours. So maybe closer to 7 o'clock, 6:30, maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock for those that are closer to the Cumberland Plateau and the Upper Cumberland region. Just kind of scrolling through some of these other comments. Looks like we're just getting the same thing. So we've been answering. Let's see, Michelle asking about Lafayette. We're looking at some light rain up towards Lafayette right now. Some showers pushing through. I don't think these storms to the west are going to be a problem as far as anything severe goes. This is moving through Portland. The one near Greenbrier is most intense, but for now, again, Lafayette's under the tornado watch until 10 o'clock. But I would say that things look promising at the moment, but don't let your guard down. Make sure you're still keeping an eye on the weather for sure. But I think with that, Brett, I think what we'll do is just we're gonna take a break here because we're getting ready for the 5:30 newscast that'll be coming on shortly. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in and streaming with us.
This was my first time doing it with you. This was fun.
Yeah, isn't it fun? We can be a little more casual.
It was a good time.
Yeah, just kind of talk. And I love the fact that we can talk with everybody too about, where you are, if you have questions about what's going on. But here's the new severe thunderstorm warning, by the way. So this is really a nice way to be able to answer as many questions as possible, be a little more laid back, a little more casual. So this is the new severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, that was just issued. This is for Wilson and Rutherford County until 6. And wind and hail are going to be the main threats with anything that does form, along with heavy rain.
And just real quick about the Laverne question, it's right over you right now, just some heavy rain, maybe some hail and some strong winds, but that's right there in between Brentwood and Smyrna on the map.
Yeah. And zooming out again, because I'm still seeing a lot of questions about the Smyrna, tornado, signs of a tornado near Greenbrier. No tornadoes at the moment. So we have no tornado threat. Remember too, our boxes, the yellow box indicates a severe thunderstorm warning. A tornado warning would be a red box. Do you hear that thunder?
I just heard that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that second round.
Yeah, it was. That was a big strike. So again, we do have a tornado watch, which means conditions are favorable, but there are no tornadoes that are currently impacting Middle Tennessee. So there's no imminent threat of a tornado right now. I want to go over to our Metro Center camera. Man, all my cameras are.
Clarksville, you're all good for any severe or any tornado threat on that. No worries up there.
There's a look from Metro Center. So that's from our station. It's still pretty dark out there. There we go. Boy, I was questioning whether or not that video was real, because it was, wow, look at that. Because it was so dark. I was like, this cannot be. But now we can see the skyline at least. We do have, let's see, Stormwatcher asking if it's a bow echo to the west of Nashville. No, this is non-severe, but definitely ominous looking here from our South Nashville camera with those lightning strikes. But I assume you're talking about this line that's right here behind the one severe thunderstorm warning that we have in effect. No, not a bow echo. This would need to be much more intense, and severe. But we are seeing a decent amount of storms, a cluster of storms that are pushing through, lots of lightning and again, some heavy rain. So unfortunately for anything that's outside tonight, Friday night football, I do think we might be running into some delays of the start of the game. It'll just kind of depend on where you are. So, when will the watch expire? That's a good question. The watch expires at 10 o'clock. Tornado watch in effect until 10 o'clock. Put that back on here. So the tornado watch in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. And hopefully we'll get to see some of these counties be whittled away, cleared early before 10. I think that will be the case beginning in our western counties, and then they will start to shave them off as the storms continue to pass through. But it's definitely just kind of a soggy night. I will make a quick mention of the fact that we do have, on the heels of this, a big Arctic blast that's coming in for next week. So we'll see those wind chills by Monday morning in the mid-teens for a lot of places.
Not looking forward to that.
I know. Yes, Brett, tell me more about how you love the cold weather.
Every year, Katie and I talk about it. I hate the cold. And here we go. We're back at it.
I mean, I would expect that. You're from Memphis,
I know. I don't do well in the cold.
So yeah, we've got, and it is a little early for this time of year to have such a cold blast of air. This is like dead of winter type of cold setup for us. But the good news is it only lasts a couple of days and then we'll warm up back to the 60s. So we are still watching the severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect now. Again, this is going to be until 6 for folks in Smyrna. In the thick of it right now. It does include Murfreesboro. Remember, we were wondering if it would extend into Murfreesboro. So this does include Murfreesboro. Heavy rain, gusts of wind up to 60 miles per hour, and the potential for hail. with this storm here. Everywhere else, so we are in the clear for severe storms for now, but we do have a watch, tornado watch, that remains in effect until tonight. So I think with that, we're going to go ahead and sign off because we got to get our ducks in a row for the 5:30 this evening. Appreciate you all tuning in. Hopefully we can do a couple more of these in the future, and we will see y'all later. Stay safe. Again, if you can, just kind of hang back for a little bit until these storms pass. But again, we'll be live tracking this at 5:30, so be sure to tune in Fox 17 at 5:30 coming up pretty shortly. Thanks again.